do we have here? It is YouTube. I feel like I have not been on YouTube for maybe, I've done a live stream for about 2 weeks. 2 or 3, it feels like. But I've been having a good old time over there on TikTok. Carrying on out in them TikTok streets. I don't do a whole bunch of live streams on TikTok because it's exhausting. But I haven't done many live streams on YouTube because I felt like I could get in trouble. I mean, a lot of the stuff that was happening over the past few weeks, the news cycles and all of that stuff, I didn't really have a whole lot to say. And somebody said, if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. So, I just go ahead and shut my mouth. It's been a very, very interesting military Air Force season. So in the past couple of weeks, we had leadership come out and say, hey, look, man, anybody that say something negative or seem to be mocking of he who shall not be named, we going for their neck. They also proposed to make name a day after the guy. And it's just like, when I say they, I mean like lawmakers. Somebody put a bill forward. And I was just like, is this real life? Is this where we at? Huh. And I just said, well, you know what? I'm going to mind my business. I stopped watching the news, honestly. And, you know, as a officer, you kind of need to be aware of what's going on. But in other news, I am running a flight. This is my FINI flight. FINI is short for finish or final. But this is my final flight. And we are coming up on the last day of week 1. And this has been a time. They changed the new curriculum last class. I was on the bench because, remember, I was supposed to move in September. The beginning didn't happen. Excuse me. I still don't have orders, but I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. My orders are being worked on at the Air Force Personnel Center in Texas, which means those orders are going to be cut soon. And your boy is going to be on a mission. Oklahoma City, that you player? That's about to mean me in a couple of, I'm going to call it weeks, because when I say couple of months, it just makes it seem like it's longer. January is when we're supposed to be heading on out. But there's so much that's been going on. 2 days after the closing of my new house, which is very expensive, by the way, probably too expensive. The bank, I don't know how they came up with them numbers, but they say, oh, no, you got it. You got this, player. I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, do I? I hope so. I better. But I need to be making a promotion, God. Come on, God. Come on, God. Because only you can do it. Because yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, lots been going on. We've had this stop military movement. Military ran out of money. No more PCSs. No more permanent changes of station until the next fiscal year. Oh, by the way, there's a chance that the government may shut down. The Republicans put forth a clean bill, which basically says, we're not putting anything new in here. We just gonna keep it going. And we want to request an extension to this time because we know that we have some disagreements, so we just want to kind of put us past this time. I think it was past like elections or something like that. I don't know. But they wanted to put it off. And the Democrats, it's like, well, we have enough people to kind of throw a monkey wrench in you guys' plan. I'm from Maryland. Thank you. GS is back. He says, where are you from? And so he wanted to throw, the Democrats could throw a monkey wrench in the Republicans' plans. And so this is what they do every time. Every time it comes time to appropriate some money or some funding, we play this gamesmanship. It's political gamesmanship. At first, when I first saw it happen, I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do if the government shuts down? How are we gonna make it? Well, turns out you can actually still make it if the government shuts down. It's tough, but interestingly enough, like the banks and everybody seem to work with you because they know if you military, you're gonna get your money. And if you're gonna get your money, that means we're gonna get our money eventually. My problem is, what about the people that are renting my home? What if they don't get me the money? And like, what if they never give me the money until it opens back up, the government, or until they can figure it out? You have both sides that are saying, well, it's their fault. And then, like, literally, both of them saying it's the other side's fault. I don't know. But I'm not even going to get into that. But militarily, you've had, like, two things. If you notice, I'm a little clean shaven here. It's not like baby bottom clean, but it's not like a beard like I usually have. And the reason is because I can't remember, I think it was the SecDef, came all the way from the top, said, look, if you can't have that professional military image, you can't be clean shaven, we're gonna give you a year to figure it out. After that year, get out. And I said, well, you know what, sir, I think I can figure it out. If I was at retirement eligible, I'd have been like, well, we're gonna have to whatever, we're gonna see what we see. Now, the thing is that I find interesting is 2027 has been highlighted as this year of great conflict. So we have this pacing threat, also known as the People's Republic of China. And they're thinking that some stuff is about to jump off at the 100-year anniversary of something, the establishment of the party. They're thinking that, hey, they might try to reunify Taiwan. And so at this point, they're thinking, well, we've already talked a lot of junk about what we may or may not do when it comes to Taiwan. We've already invested a lot when it comes to Taiwan. And so our interests are now in Taiwan. And so looks like there may be a conflict, a big conflict in 2027. But the interesting thing to me is like, if there's going to be a big conflict in 2027, why are we shrinking the force? Shouldn't we try to get as much talent as we can? And I just noticed, like, most of the general public is not paying attention. There's no drum beating, like build up, or there's none of that really on the news cycles. Most of the stuff that we focusing on right now in the news cycle is domestic stuff. But I just really want the civilian population to understand that there is a reason why in 2 years there could potentially be a serious situation. But most people, again, if it's not on message, if it's not pick a side, pick an opinion, say an unpopular opinion to one side or a popular opinion, depending on what side you're standing on, most people don't really have a lot of bandwidth for it. Hey, Liz Anthony. I really want the general public to understand that in 2 years, there could be a lot going on. And Because I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, well, why should our guys be over there fighting a fight that don't really involve us? And that's the thing. Hey, Caitlin Gonzalez, thank you for joining. That's the thing that I really want civilians to understand. Like, no, it's important in the grand scheme of things. Because what we locked in now is based on the last national security strategy, I believe. We're locked in a battle for dominance. That's how I'm gonna put it. And so right now, the world order is U.S. is the world power. And from U.S. perspective, that's where we want to stay. But you have what's called revisionist regimes, China, Russia, that Russia wants to make it multipolar. They don't just want one person on top. They want to kind of bring like, all right, China, you and I, we're going to have this no limit partnership. We're going to both rise together. We're going to bring each other up. And U.S., we're going to bring y'all down a little bit so we could all be on like a general level, equal footing. And so that's kind of what's going on from Russia's standpoint. China's standpoint saying, nah, we want to be we want to control this region. We kind of sort of already do control the South China Seas. I mean, the U.S. is kind of, tipping around there and doing their little freedom of navigation trips. But, whatever. They not running nothing. They not stopping nothing. This is China speaking. And China ultimately wants to be in the U.S.'s spot. So, like, put this in the natural, in like everyday terms. So, if I'm number one and you want to be number one, now I'm number one, but I want to stay number one. Well, you number two and you want to be number one. That means we're going to have to fight at some point. We're going to have to we're going to have to throw hands, or I'm going to have to set up a situation where you fall. Somehow or another, you're going to fall and I'm going to be left standing. And so that's the situation that I really want people to understand. And this is kind of why Taiwan becomes this important piece, because the funny thing is Taiwan makes like most of the chips that we use. Like we use semiconductors and I think it's semiconductor or semi-processor, something that Taiwan makes is what is very important. Like all of the technology, Taiwan is technologically critical. You might ask, well, how come we don't just make it here? Well, because have you ever tried to buy any goods made in the USA? What do you notice about those goods made in the USA as compared to the goods made in China? Is it more expensive or less expensive? Right? It's made in USA, it's more expensive. So you really got to love your country and have a sense of patriotism, because the workers here are not going to work for the pittance there that those folks in those countries work for. We're not having it. And so that's really the challenge why we can't do it here. And it's also technologically it's difficult. But here's this radical idea that I had. We do have a very, very cheap labor force. They make these uniforms. All right, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Have a good day.
You too.
Sir.
You too.
Good morning. How are you?
And so,
Thank you.
we already have a cheap labor force. What labor force? Like, they make this uniform, they make socks, they make a lot of our goods. And it's the Federal Bureau of Prisons. These guys are making a lot of goods. Why not teach? Train these guys. They got to have good behavior. You got to have some sort of incentive. But train them. Especially the people that's going to be locked up for a long time. Train them cats. And let's make it here. Let's do it on this side. That's radical. That's not a That most people would be like, no, they need to be repaid. Well, that's one way they could repay their debt to society. Okay, and we could all make some change in the process, because I had heard. So the base that I'm on right now, Maxwell Air Force Base. Let me roll this window up in case y'all can't hear me. The base that I'm on right now, Maxwell Air Force Base, it has a federal prison on it. I looked it up at one point to see how much these guys are getting paid, and it said something like 27 cents an hour is like the high end of pay. 27 cents an hour, bro. Imagine if you went to work and you only got paid a quarter. Like somebody gave you a quarter every hour. Hey, good job. Ding. Flip you a quarter. Hey, good job. Ding. Like you could literally get paid the same day. And so, like, I feel like if we're gonna make goods, like, let's make something we actually need. That is a critical need. So let's go ahead and get after that. I ain't gonna park over here today because he in my spot. That's all good. I'm gonna just go ahead and go over here and park somewhere else. But yeah, I think that the direction that the leadership has said is America first. And so that means we're not really worrying about like being this world player. Because when you put yourself first, that's a good thing. It can be a good thing in some things. But when you put yourself first in all things, what happens? People stop really wanting to deal with you. Have you ever dealt with like an arrogant person or a conceited person? Or like somebody that's just all about what can you do for me? People don't generally like to deal with them. They're not really the fun people to hang around. And so, when we take that mentality, it's an approach. I'll put it like that. It's an approach. But like, is it going to have you with alliances that are strong? Because 1v1, if you look at U.S. versus China, I mean, China's military is like more than our population, just about. So how that's going to work? Like, everybody in the country, if you gave everybody a gun, if you trained everybody how to fly planes and to drive tanks and do all of that stuff, it still wouldn't be enough in the army. So how that's going to work? I mean, the only way it's going to work to me is if you got friends. It's like if you getting beat up in the fight and your friends see you getting beat down by whoever you fighting. This is how it used to be when I was a kid anyway. I grew up it wasn't super rough, but it was kind of rough. If it was a fight and you was losing, like they was going to let y'all fight one-on-one. But if you start taking hits or you start getting hit, they wasn't going to let you get stomped out by yourself. Hey, Envy. Ivan TRV says hi. Hey, how you doing? They wasn't going to let you get stomped out and just beat up and embarrassed if they was a good friend. Now, if they weren't a good friend and you just got stomped out, and it's like, dang, man, that's messed up how they did you like that. Usually after that fight, y'all are going to have some sort of issue. Because I thought we were here, but we're not there. And so now you and I, we beefing. And so that's kind of the situation where I think we may be headed. So I get it. And I agree. Like, for too long, we were paying all of the bills. And the way people are, though, is like, if you won't do it, I'll find somebody else that will. And that's kind of what's been happening. You have the U.S. that's saying, well, yeah, we're not doing it. And then you have China like, oh, really? Well, I just so happen to have some money for you. So it's just this battle for influence that we're locked in right now. And so that's really what this is all about. It's about power. Power and influence. But anyway, guys, you notice I've stopped moving. I'm at work. This has been my military TED Talk brought to you by me. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you did enjoy the conversation, go ahead, drop a like. I only got like 3 likes right now. There was more than 3 people that came in here. That's cool. Just saying. But if you did enjoy the conversation, drop a subscription. I am on here less these days, but if you do want to see more of me, see more of my content, I put like more content onto um I put more content onto TikTok now. And so that's kind of where I'm investing the time. I guess I could probably slide the content that I'm putting on TikTok and slide it to YouTube. Um, but I don't know. That seems like an extra button press. But my name on TikTok is Licorice Sticks. What is that? It's a Twizzler. I like Twizzlers. Licorice spelled LICORICESTICKS. If somebody could write that in the chat, that would be cool. You're probably not gonna do it. I don't have that type of community. It's okay. I'm not really. That's one thing I haven't done. Like, consistency is how you build a community, and I haven't been consistent. So we have a scattered community. I have some day ones, but usually my day ones are not on in the morning. They working and getting money in the morning. At night, that's when my day ones are on there. They know who they are. But anyway, y'all have a blessed day.